are. There's some right here in the hall, clerk.
No, Molly, I have
Hi, welcome to Fibber's Closet. This is an extension of the last video where I was talking about the Franken radio, the radio that I put together from one cabinet, cabinet from one series, and the chassis from another. And this is one of the buttons, as you might recall, and here's a photo. Got the faceplate all done, the cabinet face, the radio face, and was missing 2 or 3 buttons, can't recall for sure. This is one of the original buttons missing, or that I took off the radio to use as a model. And what I ended up doing was tried to make did make a cast of this, a successful cast, 2-part cast using the platinum silicon product. Let me zoom out here a little bit. From our local TAP plastic store in Portland, local to Portland area. They might be someplace else too, but it's a 2-part 1-to-1 ratio of platinum silicon, and it did a really good job of capturing the detail of the button. So as I said, it's a 2-part molding. The bottom part is the part that takes this, like that, and then the upper part is this fancy inside of this button, which I don't know if you can pick. Oh, yeah, you can sort of see that there. The inside of this button is very peculiarly made, and it is built to slip right onto the flat shafts in the radio. So I managed to get a cast of that as well. And I turned out 2 of these right here. One has had the flashing cleared off, the other one has not. Made those with this Easy Clear product that you can pick up at, in my case, Michael's, the hobby store, the crafts store in the Portland area has this Easy Cast stuff. It's available in a number of places, including online. It works okay. It worked well. It's not terribly expensive, but it worked okay. It casts these rather translucent, transparent almost, epoxy buttons, which look nice, kind of, by themselves. They don't quite match this. This is an interesting plastic, the original plastic. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's multicolored. It has hints of red inside the brown, and it's all swirly marbled. It's marbled effect, and it's really nicely done. I tried, to be frank, to cast some epoxy using tints to recreate that, and what I got was an epoxy that never dried, never cured, so it just diluted the epoxy too much to be useful. So I've got 2 cast parts now. I'll clean the flasher. As I was deflashing this one, I noticed, you probably can't see it, but there's an air bubble right there and an air bubble right there in the very bottom of the mold, or very top of the mold, where the air bubbles and the epoxy rose up to meet the surface of the mold itself. And fortunately, the button will sit behind the back panel, or the front panel, about that far, so those won't show. That's something I wasn't aware of. Have to watch out for bubbles the next time. The other thing too is when you pull these epoxy pieces out of the mold, the silicon mold, it takes 24 hours for the epoxy to cure in there, and then it takes probably another 2 or 3 days for the epoxy, after it's cured in the mold, to come out and cure some more in the air. The mold seems to hold the gases in so that it doesn't harden up for quite a few days. So if you do this yourself, keep in mind that you'll let this cure in the mold for 24 hours, and then you'll need to have it just sitting out in a focus, please, in a dry place, and hardening off before you do anything with them. So now I'm going to hit these with a touch of paint, or one of them, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, I used this stuff. If you've done any cabinet refinish, you've undoubtedly used Tomahawk. This is available at a couple of our local Portland area woodworker stores. And this one is a dark red mahogany. This is the color it produces, which isn't far off. It's a little redder, but not far off from the original color. This is, again, I think I showed you this in the last video. This is a button I made using a 3D printer. It's again, it's okay, but the base is not quite accurate, so it needs more work for the 3D printer model. So anyway, I'm going to clean these up and then apply some of this dark red mahogany, and we'll see how they look. And if they look okay, I'll put a coat of clear on them and call them good. Okay, on the right is the original button. On the left here, this clear amber tinted one is the one of the castings I made using EasyCast, and this is the other one I made using EasyCast with a shot of the red walnut tinting lacquer, and it looks pretty good. It's certainly not exactly the same as that. But boy, it's close enough for me. I may hit it with, I've got to get some, but I may hit it with just a light dusting of brown tinting lacquer. But for now, that's good enough. That's okay, I'll take it. It doesn't have the marbling that the original has, but the color is pretty good and the shape is just right. And the detail from the mold is also just right. So I'm very happy with that. I'll tint the other one up and then put them in the radio, and we'll see what it looks like.